what I love about what's going on right now when you have like, my father and you have, a Vivek and you have a JD who, in all fairness, I think I should probably get a little credit for just kind of taking on the billionaire donor class that wanted their puppet VP. And
if only people knew how much credit you deserve for that.
So,
that was a heroic.
I don't ask for much, but I was like, I'm all in on that.
That story will never be written, but that was one of the great moments in any politics I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of politics.
You definitely exerted. I exerted 10,000% of my political capital. I may get a favor from my father in 2076. I used it all, but it was great after the debate
and it actually worked out. He turned out to be amazing.
Listen, if I go all in, it's usually I feel really strong. I don't go all in often. There's not a lot of things I'm sort of indifferent. I'll work around some of the bad stuff, right? This was one that was it was really important to me. And
but there have been no hiccups.
Honestly, it's sort of interesting. I've had a lot of these sort of Republican donor class people come up to me, which is really stupid of them, by the way. But they're like, Don, I was MFing you for 3 weeks about that decision because I really wanted X, Y, Z. And then I'm like, you really shouldn't tell me that you were doing that behind my back. I appreciate the candor now, but I'm I don't know, I'm going to remember that. But they're like, but you were right. And then, and the only one that mattered, I wanted my father to be happy, but it was after the debate. My phone's blowing up in my pocket. And I figured it was press, or I'm doing the spin room for 2 hours after the debate and, doing all this. My phone I'm just turning off my phone. And it was I had 12 missed calls from my dad. I'm like, oh boy. That's usually not great. And he just gets on the phone. He goes, Don, I did that for you, Don, but that was a 10. And that a huge win in Trump world is a 6. And so when he was that was a 10, that's as close to a 10 as you're going to get. I was like, okay, we got it. But, it was watching him, even that first week, as the narrative, they were trying to crush this guy. They would have tried to crush anyone. I understand that. Yeah. But, they were trying to crush him. And I just watched him on the Sunday shows do 3 in a row, just absolutely dismantle the narrative. Because our problem on our side is everyone's they want to be loved by these people who literally hate their guts.
Oh, yeah.
We joke about the gulags, but they would gladly put any one of us in if they could just snap their fingers and make it happen. And, it was watching that where JD didn't just take their, January 6th was an insurrection. Okay, it was an insurrection, but, it wasn't it's no, this is ridiculous. What are you talking about? And just absolutely crush these people. And it's because no one's ever pushed back.
I know.
It's not that they're smart. It's people want to get invited back on the show, so they concede so much ground. So, you're starting a negotiation with already less than you're even hoping to get. And it's well, how, why would you do that? And he's been one of the first people to really break the mold on that and just sort of, not just accept the narrative blindly and push back. So it's been awesome to see.
Himself.
Well, he can explain himself. And for me, again, politics has not been an upside business for us. It's not a business for us at all. It's cost us billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But I believe in this stuff. And so to know that there's also someone we have a bench. There's a future of the Republican Party. It's not now it reverts back to Mitt Romney and whatever it may be. And that was fun. See you guys later. America First is alive and well. And, seeing a Vivek and seeing some of these other guys come up there and now step out and, just absolutely dismantle that establishment class day in and day out. You can just see truly impressive people actually on our side for a change. And I'm this is the way.
And I got to say, I feel personally vindicated because I've told you this many times, but I remember 5 years ago, oh, Donald Trump's so stupid. I was like, no, actually, Don's the smartest guy in the orbit and actually understands politics on a gut level way better than anybody else in the whole.
Yeah, you had a bad news cycle for that. I remember that. I was like, wow, that was pretty cool.
Well, it's true. It's true.
And they went after you pretty hard.
But I said that because it's true. And I think now it's very obvious that it's true. So congratulations. I think you've been vindicated, and I mean it.
There's a lot of chaos out there in the world, and that's why your bed is your sanctuary, a place of peace and rest. And with Cozy Earth, it can be even more peaceful and more restful. Comfort and tranquility are the bywords of Cozy Earth's bamboo sheet set. Bamboo sheet set? That sounds strange. Oh, it's not strange. It's great. These sheets are made from 100% premium bamboo derivatives, and they are the softest, most breathable sheets you will ever have. They'll keep you cool all night, and they get softer with every wash. And there are going to be a lot of washes because these sheets come with a 10-year warranty. 10 years, a decade, guaranteed. So you're investing not only in comfort, but in quality that lasts for a long, long time. Don't believe it? Go to cozyearth.com/Tucker and use the code Tucker for a discount up to 40% off your order. Embrace the comfort of Cozy Earth, made from bamboo. You will feel the difference.
Man, it was interesting. Like last night, just being in Michigan at 2:00 in the morning, watching an entire stadium still energized and invigorated, and just being like, sort of, I think we win. I think we do great. Like whatever it is, but it was like, man, that was sort of an end of an era. Like Trump on the campaign trail.
I know.
I don't think we'll ever see that again.
No.
There's not enough personality in politics. There's not enough sort of.
It's so overwhelming. I mean, I met all these people who've been to, I've been to 40 Trump rallies, and it's like, why? And the answer is because they're so fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, there are people that have been to over 100 that I've met. And I'm like, I'm not sure like I've been to 100. Like, my theory on that when they're like, I'm not the guy looking for credit. I'm not the guy like trying to.
No, you're not. It's true.
I'm not the guy trying to be in the selfie. And politics. There's all these people like, well, why are you here? Like, you could actually do something if you were out of, like, in all fairness, like, you're adding, if Trump's in the room, like, virtually no one else adds any value, right?
No,
like, it's like,
I've been there. Yeah,
give him a mic, true. He'll be fine. He doesn't need your help. He doesn't need your, like, sage advice of, bullshit. But, you still see a lot of that where they're just there to be in the background, to be seen there. And I'm like, so I'm the opposite. Like, yesterday, I did want to do the last day. Yesterday was the only day in the entire cycle that I've spent with my father. Like, I just...
Was it fun?
It was great. But I'm kind of like my dad that way. I rather have the mic also. So it's like, I'm sitting there at the end of 4 rallies, it's, 5:30 in the morning, and I'm like exhausted. And you know what it's like.
Very
you get up on the stage. When we did our great event up in Jacksonville, and there's like 17,000 people there, and I'm like, you get done, it's like, okay, it's bedtime. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to sleep for hours. Like,
I know.
You absorb some of that energy when the crowd gives you that. You absorb that energy, and like, you're not. So it's, I'm looking at my dad, and I'm like, and honestly, I'm always impressed with him, and whether it's getting shot in the face and coming back defiant, or just, but his overall energy. It's like it's 6 a.m. He's been going since 6 a.m. 24 hours. He's had the thousands of people that he's been entertaining. His it's not like a Kamala Harris speech, which is like 7 minutes off a prompter. I mean, you can have a 45-minute speech in the prompter, but he's up there for 120 minutes. It's like, I'm like, for the love of God, like we did the first rally in North Carolina. We got there relatively on time. And like, by the time we got done, we're like, well, we're already 2 hours behind schedule. I'm like, I'm not going to get to sleep tonight. Like, and I'm going to be on TV and radio all morning. So, I pulled an all-nighter, but the guy's 78, pulls an all-nighter, is doing TV all day, doesn't go to sleep at all. And I'm like, I don't even know that. I don't have that at 46. Like, it's I'm like,
well, tonight he was in there. I don't know. You're probably working, but he was in there, and the returns are coming up at the first tranche at 7. All his biggest donors standing around, and he's doing this like play-by-play.
Yeah.
In front of everybody, just for like 40 minutes. And it's hilarious.
And he remembers everyone, and he remembers when they got on board, especially the guys that got on early. But the recall, is actually amazing. When they start doing the most offensive stuff I see is like when they're like, well, Trump's in the later stages of dementia and Alzheimer's. I'm like, the same people that told you that Joe Biden is alive and well. I'm like, I don't, it's been a weekend at Bernie's for 4 years, but he really, he gets it. And so,
he's not in the later stages of dementia. No. I think it's fair to say. I mean, you don't have to like him, but he's not suffering from dementia.
Yeah. Well, you combine just the full weight and force of the mainstream media. A $1 trillion industry. You combine that. You add in, big tech. You add in, 3-to-1 outspend on it, and it's like, it's hard. Like, I feel like if I was a leftist, like, we'd win elections by like 99.9 to like 0.01, and the 0.01 is like people who just filled in the wrong circle or something like that. Like, it's actually hard to believe we can even be competitive, but that's how insane the Democrat Party is today.
I gotta say, for me, there are lots of things I'm looking forward to if he wins, but Nicole Wallace's response has got to be right at the top of the list. Like,
a couple of those, I want to like juxtapose them to like 2016, who Martha Raddatz, the very, very unbiased moderator of the Hillary Clinton debate. She's there in tears on TV. I'm like, you think she's really like unbiased? You think there's even like a little bit? And you look at the way they've analyzed the coverage, 93% negative against Trump, like 276% positive for Kamala Harris. I'm like, she hasn't even given you guys your policies. Like, if you, like, it'd be one thing if, like, hey, you excuse just overall, lack of charisma. But like, she wouldn't even tell them their policies. It's fine. It's fine. Like, we'll figure out the policies on January 20th.
They have no self-respect.
It's brutal, right? Like, it's hard to believe that you can even have a close.
Wallace is just, there's something about her. It's just,
yeah.
When I was a kid, I was a magazine writer, and I went down to Florida to interview Jeb Bush on his education policies. He was like an idiot, but I was required to think he was impressive. And Nicole Devonish, she was then called, was the little gatekeeper. I remember thinking, this woman's really stupid and really kind of nasty and self-important. And then the next thing you know, I wake up and she's got a show on MSNBC, and she's like the most dishonest, weepiest, just like sanctimonious. Don't you think that her like melting down on MSNBC will make all of it worth it?
100%. Like, even 50 hours of congressional testimony for treason. Like, they're like, why'd you work so hard on this, Don? I was like, well, because I don't want to end up in the gulags next. I mean, you and I would have fun if they put us next to each other. But
That'd be fun, yeah.
Separate us. But it's insane. But no, it's interesting when with the media, with politics in general. I came from the business world. Like, like you don't just get lucky. In business, you can get lucky once, but like the guys that have 40-year careers, like they're impressive people. Politics, media, they're actually incredibly unimpressive.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.